What up, world? Welcome to the Fives of the Week podcast. It's your boy Philly,
Saul Rosenberg,
and Hollywood Apple Snooch.
Samuel.
He's back.
Snooch is back.
The back jack.
You were able to clock out of work to be here.
Yeah, it's been a long road.
How you feeling, man?
I have good days and bad. It literally drains you just because.
Stop whining.
You got to be there. You know what I mean? And you look around, you're like, there's really no reason why I should be here. But it's all upper management and trying to hold the gun to you. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I just really don't understand it. But I try to stop understanding it now. Just keep doing what I do and taking their money. I mean, they'll have to explain to their big bosses.
Well, what's the general consensus down there? How do the people feel? What's the culture like?
Oh, they're upset. I mean, they're we've already had some outbursts. We've had nearly fights. Just people, high wired up. They're tired. Don't make any sense why we're here. We got someone else with us doing the exact same job that comes in 3 hours prior. Why can't we leave? Our family's eating, getting home, wanting to cook, and settling for a bowl of cereal because the family's already ate. And stuff like that. Just little things like that. Stuff going on. Well, I got to leave early, man, because, I got to get to work. I got to put in another 12 the next day. And it's slowly just starting to combust.
It's got to be tough, man. Well, you got to be, almost halfway through it now?
About 59 more days. Okay. 59, just take it one day at a time. Hopefully something gives here soon.
Just sucks that happened in the middle of summer.
Yeah, this is the third summer we've got. This is by far the worst.
It's too bad. Well, hang in there, man. Yeah. How's everything else going?
Other than that, not too bad. Just trying to keep up, like saying, working like this, it had me thinking to get a Molly made, have somebody come do the grass and everything like that, just so I don't have to do it when I get home.
It makes sense.
Like some of these people are like, man, I'm sending doctors there. No, don't do that. Go to your doctor. Just leave early. We'll take care of the rest. Do not put that off because of this. That's important.
Yeah, you got to take care of yourself at the end of the day.
Yes, absolutely.
Knock on wood if you're with me.
Absolutely.
We're just, we're doing what we got to do. Got a contract coming up. So hopefully that all goes smooth. But other than that, I really can't complain. The money's great. But, what are you going to do when you don't control that part of it? You just got to show up. That's it. Make the best of it.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Chief Big Coin over there. So Grandmaster B, how you been, man?
Thought I only knew one big coin guy, but, that was the other guy.
That was last week.
Everything's going good. So I want to ask you a quick question. Your union contract thing, because I noticed, when they do this restructuring, it's all the big three. It's not just Stellantis. It's Ford. It's GM. So how is that? Because universally, when they set these contracts up, it's fair game for everybody in that industry?
Well, yeah, they, prior, when Marcioni had it, he basically said that, I don't care what General Motors or Ford does. I'm going to do things my way. And now this guy, Tavari, he seems to be a little bit, more open-minded. They want to make money. They like making money. And RUAW Vane, he basically said, hey, listen, these big threes have made money upon money.
Billions.
Now it's time to get some concessions back. When you lose something, you help the company out. They come to you, hey, listen, guys, we want to stay above water. In order to do this and keep running so we don't close things, we got to ask stuff back.
Sure.
And I get it. Now it's like, okay, but you're making all these bills. And I'm not saying, I don't make good money. And I haven't got some nice bonus, but there's been others that haven't got it. And they're right there by me. They're two-tier. That's what we have to get rid of. When they're making half of what we make, they don't get the bonus we make, and they're banging out that same vehicle. That's a problem. So there's going to be different things they want to come up with. They want to mandate, hopefully, which I don't think will happen, but, less hours, so more time with your family. You know what I'm saying? They're going to have to cut back maybe a little bit because the EVs is so much the batteries. And I think we was talking to that the guy out in Glen Arbor, when he was doing them batteries over there in China about them.
Oh, yeah.
He was saying how high tech that is. It's more money, and you don't need as many people.
Sure.
So you got to try to find, with people retiring and everything, where are these people going to go? Nobody wants to cut jobs. You know what I'm saying?
But let me ask you this: so work-life balance, and then you got the good checks coming in, right?
Yeah.
So is it worth it at the end of the day, or would you rather have your work-life balance? Because I know you're doing fairly well without these crazy hours. So
Yeah.
what would you rather have, or do you look at it positively and say, "Hey, I'm going to bank for the future"?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to really get ahead at a cost of just keeping your sanity and your focus in your mind and your health. That's the most important thing. And I've been an advocate with the rest of the people, and I've been trying to tell them at the table. We got a table at our job, and I said, listen, because you'll hear different things. You could sit here and complain all day long. At the end of the day, you still got to come here. But you do have a choice. You do not have to come, and you can quit. And you're going to throw away all that money, and you're going to throw away all your pension, because this is time we got to buckle it up, do what we need to do, and hope that it pays dividends, at the end of the deal, and the handshake comes and say, hey, man, thanks a lot.
So would you rather have the work-life balance that you had before, or...
By far. By far.
Okay.
By far. Yeah.
That's a fair question, because you're changing. I mean, you're exchanging all your time for that money, and I understand it's mandatory. Going back to this contract thing, I thought I read something that they're even trying to put a provision in the contract for 32-hour work weeks.
Yeah.
For certain people, or that's an option, right? So you can still get your benefit package.
They probably won't get it. It's a good gesture, because you have production that has to be so many vehicles, so much time. Well, now they have logistics and everything. And this younger cat, who was a chemist, he come in and he goes, well, they're looking at that job there, and they're like, well, over a week's time, he's only actually did about 8 hours worth of work. And he's got 32 to spare. So see how deep the company's going as far as that? They're trying to find out, what are we doing with this other 32 hours?
Right. They're trying to cut the fat out, which is, and that's going to mean more. They're getting leaner and meaner that way. But
and I get it. As a company, Stan, I get it. But you can't do your job if it's not there. Like, if I don't have a box to put on, there's no, I help out others. Hey, man, you need help over here, you know, this and that. I can't make you make that box any faster. I can give you a list. Hey, I need this. Can you have them run through a steam cabinet? Now, you're my boss. If you don't go do it, it is what it is. Mm-hmm. I report to my job every day, hoping that I have all these boxes to do, and I don't.
Do you feel like at some point the profits were extremely high? We're talking billions of dollars. I think GM profited $2 billion. And so, again, they share a little bit of that wealth. We're talking a little bit. They give you, shareholder profit sharing. Mm-hmm. You mentioned a pension. I don't think the new people that hired in the last how many years, they're not going to get a pension, though, right? Because they went to a 401k.
No, they're going to try to fight for it. They're going to try to fight for it because...
Is the pension still available? My understanding, it's not.
Well, they don't have one. That's what they're going to the table and asking for.
When did that exit the system, though?
That's been out probably about 12 years.
That's
since Marcioni.
Yeah, that might be a tough one to get back because even your biggest companies, and that is a big company, all three of them, nobody's really offering pension programs anymore. What they're doing, from my understanding, is they're offering the 401ks. Yes. They're offering maybe a different type of match. Instead of it being, say, 3%, 4%, they might up it 1 or 2 more percent to incentivize workers to say, hey, we'll match you up to 6%, and you're currently at 4%. But
you had John Deere. They wouldn't got one. You had UPS. They got a big contract. They got theirs.
They got a pension?
So it's just a matter of... I don't see it personally because you look at it this way. There's people out there that's been out 30 years. And they don't like that. This guy's... He's going to the mailbox. Don't have to report to work, anything.
Well, that's the thing. Ironically enough, Philly, I just received a buyout pension from my former employer. I was vested in it, and they just sent me a letter of intent that you have an option. You could take this buyout right now. You could take a lump sum of money. If you take the lump sum and just say, well, I'm sitting on a, whatever amount of money, then you got to pay taxes on it. So I called my tax advisor and I said, look, this could really help me out. This could pay down my house and some other stuff. And his words to me were, you're not the right age. One, I'm not eligible for retirement. So that's the big caveat. You can't just do stuff like that without paying the price to the government. That would be an early penalty, 10%. You also would have a 20%, I believe it's federal. So there's 30, plus your state, 36. And there's some other crazy tax they can put you on. So whatever, say it's $100,000, you're going to lose 40,000 of it right out of the gate. Yeah. He goes, or the smart move is to just roll it over to, if you put it in an IRA, it's going to be on your tax form at the end of the year. It's going to count as an income because you got to prepay your taxes on a Roth IRA. And that's more money than I would want to spend just to put it in that. So ultimately, the decision was made in the last couple of days that I'm just going to take that money and just put it into one of my other investments, an IRA. Because what's happening, and I'm not afraid to mention who the company is, was Coca-Cola, who I used to work for. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to exit any employee that's no longer there with the company or retired employees, so they don't have to mail those checks out and they don't have to maintenance that money, because there's a company they have to hire that's going to be in charge of this big pot of money, could be millions and millions of dollars, and they have to pay a company to administrate that. Yeah. So I'm at this weird crossroads, so it looked really cool. I'm like, holy shit, a lump sum, man. I'm like, oh, yeah, we're going to Hawaii. I'm like, we're going to do something with this. But then all of a sudden, I'm like, wait a minute, reality hits after I talk to this guy. He goes, what's it worth to you? Sure. And it ain't that kind of money. So I'm just going to do a rollover. But he said pensions are kind of the thing of the past. He goes, if you were vested,
that's where they're going.
Like a guy like you, consider yourself very fortunate.
Yeah, and I got another one through, I was a UAW roofer.
Okay, so you have another.
I have a fund.
Okay.
That I'll get when I'm like 59 years old. I'll cash out on that.
Dude, that's so crazy. And Philly, I don't mean to keep talking here, but I seen another thing about this. It was most people that aren't retired feel that when they do retire, say someone may be our ages, right? Mm-hmm. They're saying, what's the most comfortable number you would feel good at a retirement income level to have in the bank? $1.8 million. I'm not even fucking close to that, dude. But that's like, that seems like a really high number, doesn't it?
I say 250, 250,000 should be comfortable. I mean, you're getting a pension. You're not working. You're coming out of bed. You're just going to have to change your programming. What you do is any cars you want to get, anything you want to pay out before you retire.
Yeah, there's your plan right
Everything
there.
else is cash. You're all set out here. You make your booklet. Okay, we can't go over this. Mm-hmm. And you get a check cut once a month. They'll send you, and life's good.
And there's nothing to say that if you get to the point to a retirement, or you want to retire early, and you have that income available to you, you could still work, and it doesn't penalize you. You can still go grab a part-time job.
Let me ask you this with Coke. Now, was that money just sitting there, like, earning interest this whole time?
Okay. Very, very small amount, because they don't invest it in, say, like, maybe you've probably done your 401k before, and they'll give you, like, high risk, low risk, moderate, and all this other stuff. So they go with mostly money market type funds, which I don't really understand all that stuff, Philly, but at the end of the day, that was the other thing the guy told me. He's like, you can take that money, put it in an investment. He goes, where are you at year to date with your, say, Fidelity account? I just happened to look it up, and even though the market sucks, and it sucks it's better than it was a year ago. Oh, yeah. And one of my funds, I'm up 13% year to date. So think of what a bank's going to pay you. Banks don't pay you nothing, man. You can have $100,000 sitting at Chase Bank right now, or over at PNC Bank, wherever you do your banking. They're going to pay you 1%.
Right.
And if you take 13% and you don't touch it, and it compounds interest, 13% on top of your money, and then it grows. You could have a couple shit years. You could have a few bad months. But, that's what he's pretty much telling me at my age to do. And I'm sure there's people that listen to our podcast that are looking at their 401ks going, man, we all lost money.
I seen a guy the other day show me his $2 million.
In his
Yeah.
401.
I said,
Yeah. Some people
I
went
said, remember I told
all
you
out.
I've been doing this since 401k was
started. Yeah.
And people say, oh, you're crazy, dude. He said, changed over the years. You know what I mean? He said, just never went from it. Never touched it. Just let it roll. Ups, downs. I was like, dude, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm started when I was young, too. 'Cause
Yes,
That's clutch.
Yes.
Yeah, you really, that was a smart move.
It's something for you. In the end, who cares when you pay your tax on it? It's a lump sum. How do you want it? Cut me $1,200 a month, just for bull crap. You know what I mean? You may not even need it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean that's what you want to get to.
Oh,
to
yeah.
the point where, as you get older in years, that you don't want to have to worry. If you have your health and you just nailed it, you want to get your debt paid off, maybe your home, your cars, or whatever. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of where you want to go.
If you don't have it within 30 years of your time in your job, you ain't never going to get it.
Yep, you're right, and you wasted all those
All that
years
time.
because time moves very, very fast, and
still undefeated.
still undefeated, man.
Yes.
So that pension thing's a big deal because you're one of the luckier ones in your age category that are able
I'm
to
the
vest
last,
into that.
but I just wish the best for all of them. And when you have like Ford is personally owned, so like even with their profit sharing, they don't have to go with Chrysler and them. We set the tone with our company. We own this. This is our family thing. If we want to pay him $20,000, we'll pay him $20,000. We're not going to go by whatever you tell us to do. Little things like that where there's different, like they get Gatorade and shit over there. We don't. We get water.
Yeah,
You know,
I'll take
but
water over Gatorade as long as you give me more
that's
profit
what they
sharing.
do. You know what I'm saying? That's
Absolutely.
what Ford's doing. We were getting hammered, getting $2,800 bonuses. They were getting 11 and 12.
Yeah, I thought I heard that, and I don't know this to be 100%, but GM, each eligible employee for profit sharing, with the money they made this past year's, each employee's getting $14,000. It's a pretty nice chunk of change.
All three of them together made $20.7 billion.
That's, dude, it's
After
staggering
everyone was
numbers.
paid.
Isn't that
After
crazy,
everybody
Phil?
was
It's amazing.
paid. Yeah.
Come on, man.
Big business.
So,
What
and I'm
is it
thankful,
at?
though. I make great money. I'm thankful.
Now, do they profit sharing checks? Do they cut that to the individual, or how's that work? Or does it go into your?
They tax the
investment?
shit
They write
out
it
of them.
off.
Oh, sure.
That's a write-off to them. It don't even count against the books to them.
Yeah, that's what you get.
Talk about the books, Tom.
Yeah,
you
Tony,
get
you know
you
the
get
books.
dinged on those because they consider that they write it, they tax it as
It's
a
like
bonus.
42%.
Right.
Yeah. So again, it's similar to my whole thing about taking lump sum money. That's considered.
But
how
what
they
I do
it.
is how I get them. Oh, no. I'm going to put 22% in my 401k. So screw you. You know what I mean? Right off the top. Bam. So
That's smart, though.
Yeah, it is. And I never did that for 15 freaking years, bro. Never did.
Well, now you're going to pay yourself all your taxes
Oh.
plus back in a matter of 3 to 4 years.
Oh.
You get all that back without even thinking about it. And that's
Because
smart.
You
man.
got to remember one thing. If you work your whole life, and a lot of guys want to have big mountains. If you're working big mountains for all your children or your children, what good is it if you're not around and you don't spend your own damn money? You've worked that hard your whole life and you didn't get to enjoy it.
Good
Just
point.
enough to enjoy, and whatever else left over, it don't even matter. But I'm going to take care of me because I'm the one that worked for it. I did the overtime. Nobody else did. You know, and as everyone grows, they got their own jobs, you know. And guy was telling me, he's like, I'm going to spend my money. I'm going to spend my damn money. You know. So what's enough for you?
I'll forget mine.
Yeah, what's enough for you? That's where you got to find your spot. What's enough for you to go, I'm done.
Well, that Mega Millions would be nice right about now.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man.
And I wouldn't even quit. I'd still work at Chrysler because I'm going to get my pension.
Well, I would still work too, I think. Up
Some
until
people go, man, I
found-
call in tomorrow. Like, why?
Up until I found
Good morning.
that I wanted to do. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? For
But
sure.
why would you want to throw that away? Well, you would throw away 30, 29. You're almost there.
Yeah.
Well, I got all that money. Dude, insurance. Just think. You ain't got insurance. One time sick, we can eat up a lot of that cash.
Yeah, that shit ain't cheap.
Yeah, my nephew just came in last week from Hawaii. He's in the Air Force. Shout out to Kyle Miller.
Salute.
Great kid, man.
Kyle.
Took him down to training camp yesterday. he's got his stuff together, man. He's already got 10 years in the Air Force. He's stationed out in, not Maui, Aloha or something. I forget the island. He was trying to explain the whole Hawaii setup out there. And he goes, Uncle B says, man, I'm going to retire from the military. He's already got 10 years in. You can retire after 20 years. And then he'll have all his medical. He'll have everything paid for. He'll have a job after he retires from the military because they do find you a position that will apply. Anywhere, he said, between, right now, 80 to 100 is what the rates of his. He's an intel guy for the Air Force. And he'll be 40 years old, retired, and still be able to work a civilian job, draw a pension that he can get from the military, never have to worry about medical, and be able to go live his life at 40 years old. Imagine that.
Well, that's well deserved because when you sign up, you put your life at risk because at any time, and you drop of a dime, you can get that call to go to war.
Yeah, 100%.
All those guys and males, females, they all deserve it, whatever they get.
That's why I'm so fond and big with the military people, because some of these people sacrifice a lot. You think, well, man, that's great, but like you just said, what if Uncle Sam says, hey, we got to deploy some people? You may never get the chance to see that money or get to that.
Also, just time away from your family too. You miss a lot, sacrificing that.
Yeah, so. He was dating a girl, man. He was telling me, Philly, he was dating a girl when he was down in Florida, where he was doing some of his training, or before he got deployed to go out there, and really liked the girl, and they were really connecting well. And basically, he gave her the ultimatum. It was like, if you're going to come out with me, I'd love to have you. It wouldn't work out for her because she had a job and sorts of, and it changed your whole lifestyle, right?
Absolutely.
So that's good.
Yeah. Other than that, so what else is new with you?
I know I just went on a long tirade there. Everything is good. I just trying to enjoy this summer, what we have left. I can't believe it's August here. We're sitting here. We talk about football and all this stuff, and guys, there's a preseason game on tonight as we sit here talking. I can't believe how fast summer went by. And I've been trying to enjoy it, but it's gone by too fast, man.
Today, sitting in the backyard, I was doing some yard work, and it was hot. It felt like the dog days of summer. Like, once that hits, it's coming to an end.
Yes.
It's super hot.
The sounds, you hear different things in the air, and at night you get that something feels different, as you're getting closer to September now.
For sure.
That fall is starting to creep in. You notice you're losing daylight, right? Your days are now, your sun's setting, 8:52, and we lose 3 minutes every
Smell that
day.
Stench of football.
Little by little,
that freaking hide. How about you? You've been on vacation all week, man.
Yeah, man, it's been great. Just a relaxation is what I like to call it.
Nice.
Just to sit and chill and get caught up on things that I've been so damn busy. Tedious things. Bills, running paperwork here. My son started driver's training, trying to get some rounds of golf in. Just doing things around the house. Started painting my cabinets upstairs. It's just stuff I can't do during the week.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's been good, though. I mean, I get 7 of them, so I got to burn them.
Well, I mean, I wish I could get 7 more weeks yet.
So it's prorated this year, so I don't get the full 7. I think I have 2 more.
Oh, okay.
So
till
what
the first.
You gonna do, man?
You know what I'm saying, man?
You got that till the first now, or how's that carried?
Yeah, so I have one in December and then one in September. So top of the year, it all refreshes.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
And you can't carry them over though. That's the only bad thing.
Well, no, that's cool too, though. But
it's good to. I used to break them up in quarters, like take one every quarter of the year, just so I don't get burned out. And I love to take them in the summer when I can, but it don't always work out that way. Now that I'm old man in the room, top seniority, top 5 now, man.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice.
I feel like everybody should get 7 weeks. I mean, that's not fair. I mean, I can't even I get 2 and 5 personals, and it's kind of like the maxed out. I mean, I work for a smaller company, so they don't kind of dole out that kind of stuff that, but that would be sweet,
It's one of those rewards for kind of putting your time in. 16
I think it would be good,
so it's like, it's a nice little caveat.
Dude, this guy's 40 years at my company. They only get 2 weeks, too. I asked them, I'm like, hey, how many weeks vacation you get this,
Tom? Like 35
2
days.
weeks and 5 personals. Like, we need to create a union and change that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it's funny, too, because I just missed the deadline when they changed the system. I think you can only get 5 now. And I just made it by a weekend or something like that.
That's good.
That's for you, man.
That's freaking fantastic, man.
That's nice.
How's the golf game?
Actually, we're going to go tomorrow instead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, our day ran long, so We didn't want to go like 3 o'clock. It was hot. Did some running around for non, and just catching up with my mom. I haven't seen her, so it's feeling like a void almost, man. When I don't see her, it was almost 3 weeks.
That's too long.
I talked to your mom a couple times this week, trying to plan out for next week. What do I bring? I don't know. We're going back and forth. So, hey, have you talked to Mike? How's Mike? Because I haven't seen Mike in forever. So this was the week that you actually kind of had to reintroduce us. Hi, I'm your son.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, I've seen her, I think, 3 times already. So I'm making up for lost time.
Good for you, man. Yeah. Very important stuff.
So you ready to get into some Shop Talk news? So with that being said, and whatnot and what have you, we must start with our boy Pee Wee Herman passing away.
Oh, what a bummer, man.
I mean, come on.
I was devastated by that.
Mr. Paul Rubens.
Paul Rubens.
Yes.
The Roo, man.
What was he? He was 70, I believe? Or a little bit older than that?
He was 70 years old. I guess he had been battling cancer for like 7 years.
Yeah.
Kept it very discreet. Obviously, people that have health problems, it just, you don't want to put it all out there. Look at Jamie Foxx. We're all still trying to figure out what the hell hit him.
Nobody knows.
Sure. Pee Wee, man, it's just crazy, dude. I was kind of bummed out by that. It really bummed me out. There was something about Pee Wee. I just liked him.
Can we go around the room and each try to do a Pee Wee laugh?
Yeah.
Come on,
I'm not very good at it.
Let's hear it.
I can't even.
What's going on, guys?
Yeah.
Damn you.
God, he was just like Pee Wee Herman reminded me of that small child into a man's body.
Right.
You know what I mean? Trying to scrape and get out. When I first heard his voice, I'm like, are you kidding me right now?
Here's Pee Wee.
He's busy. Busy doing what?
Yeah.
He's having his bath. Oh, really? Where are they hosing him down? Is this something you could share with the rest of us, Amazing Larry? Stolen. Why? What's the significance? I don't know.
Pee Wee. Can I tell you really quick, because I'm talking a lot, because I've missed the mic here, Philly.
That's all right, go for it.
The very first date me and my wife went on. True story. We went and seen Pee Wee's Big Top.
Did you?
Yeah, the Pee Wee Big Adventure or whatever it was. That was like the hot thing back in the day. Comedy, funny, everybody liked Pee Wee. That was 35 years ago. The next day we were talking about, this is kind of like our anniversary of dating. It was, July the 30th. And then the next day he kicks it, dude. I think I cursed him. Felt bad about it.
Pee Wee.
Isn't that nuts, man?
There won't be any other Pee Wee.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of my mom, anybody that was kind of skinny with a tight haircut, she'd call him Pee Wee Herman.
Yes.
Look at Pee Wee over there.
Yeah. It's nothing for your mom to come up with a multitude of nicknames for everybody. I think she may have a few for you. I know you've got Walt.
We have plenty.
What's the other one she calls you? Waj. There's so many of them, She calls me a troll. So for Christmas, she got me little trolls. Like a whole bag of trolls. I'm like, Amy, what is this? She goes, you're a fucking troll. You need those. I'm like, okay, thank
She's
you.
like, sad.
So I'll tell you that. There's this daredevil, I guess, Remy Lucidi, dead at 30 after falling off a skyscraper. I don't know about you guys, but you ever watch these videos of these daredevils? Like, my hands start to sweat just thinking of it. Like, I put myself in that position. I just can't do it, man. I'm just not that kind of a thrill seeker. Would you guys ever climb a skyscraper?
Absolutely not.
Hell no.
I mean, come on, man.
I'm afraid of tall roller coasters, let alone doing stupid shit like that, man.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
That's nuts.
And then the Euphoria star, Angus Cloud, has passed at 25. I don't know if you guys know, Euphoria was a big show on HBO Max. It's now called Max. That show took off. Don't actually know what happened to him, but this kid was a up and coming star. So unfortunately, a lot of death in Hollywood.
I've heard of it, but I never seen it.
Yeah, I heard it's really good. I got to go back and check it out. Oh, and I did finally see the Elvis movie, which I thought was amazing.
Nice.
And,
I know. I got to see that too.
And I also wanted to bring up. Did you guys see Quarterback yet on Netflix?
No, somebody was telling me about that, though.
Greer was telling me about it. It's Mariota, Mahomes, and
Cousins.
He said Cousins is kind of a weird dude.
Yeah, he's like he is different. He goes to a psychologist. He's very calculated. You see him. I only seen the first episode. Like after the Lions game, he was so upset that he missed that throw to Osborne down the sideline. He sat there at the fire for like an hour by himself. Family went in, which is not that crazy to me. But he's just very calculated, different individual.
Yeah, they were saying that on the radio about him. He's like, I'm not a big fan to him. He's really not self-centered. He's like really reserved. Like this guy thinks so much. You know what I mean? He goes, I'm just not a real big fan of Cousins.
I thought I was an overthinker. This guy overanalyzes everything.
Yeah.
So he's that type of dude.
He'll be a great coach one day.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
That kind of mindset right there, he's really analytical.
I think he's a solid quarterback. I would say the guy's throwing for a lot of touchdowns, a lot of yards, got a lot of wins.
That's the knock on him, though, is the big wins, So he's got to change that to change the narrative, unfortunately.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, because that one season they were just blowing the doors off everybody, and they went to that first round of their playoff and got smoked. Well, that was just last year or the year before? I can't remember.
I want to say it was the year before.
And I believe that's when wasn't that when they went there and they took the passing game away?
Yeah.
Because he was pissed, and he's like, and I believe it was Jefferson throwing his hands up in the air, like, what are we going to go? We're going to run the ball? Everything was Dalvin, Madison, Cook, and you're like, they were just stunned. Like, what's the passing game? He was pissed.
Yeah.
Well, that's all I got for news, boys.
Go ahead, Hollywood. What do you got?
Well, you hear about that Taco Bell manager in Chesterfield?
I just read that today.
Dude, so sad. So sad.
So a former employee killed him? Is that right?
It was a former employee that was homeless, didn't have nowhere to go, and he took him in, to help him out, get on his feet. And this guy started getting like an attitude and everything, even at work. They worked together at Taco Bell, and so Lewis Stafford, he was 27. He had told me, he said, "Dude, listen, I'm trying to help you out, get you on your feet." He said, "But now you're acting, weird and everything." So they got in an altercation, and Lewis whipped on him. So he got pissed, got a gun, shot and killed him.
When was this?
This was, I think it was a couple days ago.
Was this at the apartment building or something like that? The Aspen Creek Apartments?
Like that,
that happened last Saturday. Yeah.
But it was the Taco Bell on 23. Yeah, just unbelievable. His mom
People
was on there.
nuts.
She's like, I don't understand it. She said he was willing to help everybody. He loved animals. He had the big heart. She's like, you just never know what can happen when you're helping somebody,
right?
And this guy turns on you. You know what I mean? And when he told me, he's like, dude, I think it's gonna be better for you if you're gonna have to go. You're causing problems, this and that. And he got mad and something escalated into a fight. It is because life's gone, and he's in Macomb County right now, so he's on a $2 million bond. So he's hit.
Horrible.
It's just unbelievable. And then we got the Trump indicted on 4 counts, which he came out and said, "I am not guilty." I think they might be trying to take him out of the race. You know what I'm saying?
I think so. But that's been the goal from the beginning, though, right?
Yeah, they're just starting to really ramp things up now. I think this was all part of their blueprint on their agenda. This is just a pecking order. As soon as he fights one, gets off one, another one comes up, then he's got to play that game again
to wear him down. You know what I mean?
But the hard evidence right now, if you've paid attention, and I tried not to watch as much of this crazy world news as you possibly. It's not fun. We know we're in kind of a weird situation, but
fake news.
If it is true, which they got pretty hard evidence there.
He could go to prison.
I mean, he did some pretty stupid stuff. I don't think he needed to do any of the things he did. I think had he just kept his nose clean and not got too involved with the poor sport type attitude, I lost, you lost. I mean, he would win by a landslide. Now he's looking at a whole different situation.
Let me ask you this: did it have something to do with the ballots, like that whole situation?
Yeah.
Like trying to dig deeper and he wasn't supposed to.
Yeah, he was trying to get people to persuade people in the government, supposedly, to change the votes, try to find 11,600 some votes to make him a winner.
And, can't do that.
Even the smartest people, whether you were on his side or not, said, Mr. President, you lost. We don't have that system where there could be some fake stuff out there. I believe it exists, but
sure.
When you're talking about electing a president, there's a check and balance thing. It would, no one would want to lose because he was that close. We're not talking 11,000 votes in the whole United States is not very many percentage points.
He should have rode off into the sunset. 'Cause I don't know about you guys, but I'm kind of over the clown show.
Absolutely. I think everybody.
I think it'd be nice to have an infusion of maybe somebody younger, a little bit more spunkier.
Yeah, you want something new now.
Represent the country that's well spoken, like you said, checks and balances, a balanced individual that can speak and doesn't buy into all the BS. No nonsense type of guy.
On the news all the time.
Not trying to push different agendas, just genuinely out for the people.
Yeah,
I think that maybe I'm living in fantasy land.
No, I think you're right, man. Philly, there's a lot. Politics are politics. I don't give a shit if you voted Republican, Democrat. There's corruption in government no matter what. They can bury the hatchet wherever they want and how they want, and they could fool public and buy things and make things go away. We can make this a whole podcast on politics, but look at Biden's son. There's a whole lot of stuff that's lingering in the air right now, but I think as far as Trump, man, we play a lot of his drops. I think we're all kind of fans of him and his personality, but you're looking at something that's a lot worse now than it was, say, a year ago.
Yep.
These allegations are getting stronger, and for whatever the case may be, you're right. You might have to start just saying, okay, we have to turn the page now, and we need to move forward.
Even if they get one, they want to burn them that bad.
Mm-hmm.
And if they can get one to stick to, be great. They just want to prove we showed you. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. Just lay it to rest. Let's move on as a country. We cannot continue to go through all this, the January. It's over.
Well, and if you go against the grain for so long and things that not many people know and you try to spew that back out, you put yourself in a bad spot. You had to know that somewhere down the line this kind of stuff was going to catch up with him.
Absolutely.
But he was kind of willing to do that. So it's hard to say noble and Trump in the same sentence. But, he did try to do things differently, which I can appreciate. He was kind of out of pocket at times, of course. But, it's a slippery slope.
And people also lost their lives, too.
Right, unfortunately.
So
a lot of chaos, man. We could only hope, for our country we can kind of dial it back in. There is so much divide going on still. You could see it. You probably know people yourselves that, you're either on this side or that side.
Sure.
In my opinion, I've always wanted to have the best person in play. I don't really care. I voted both ways in my lifetime, so I'm not a hardcore this or a hardcore that. I just went with who I thought was the best person based on integrity and all that other tangible stuff you're talking about. This will tarnish his image for sure, but time will tell.
Yep. We'll have to wait and see. Else over there?
Well, we kind of spoke on a little bit what this year will be the big year for the contracts of the big three. Very, very pivotal going into the next generation for years to come, as far as the wants and needs, the COLA, the raises, the signing bonuses, which the 2 tiers, the pensions, which may not happen, and then inner part of it. You have to set standards because it could also come back and bite you in the ass and fold companies. So you have to be very, very careful to stay competitive as well. You know what I mean? If you go and take off one company that says, well, guess what? We're going to pay our people the way this is. Well, that could come back 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, and then guess what? Your company's off the map. So it's this is probably one of the biggest contracts of my time. And I'm right there within the next 10 to leave. So this is very, very pivotal on where we go. And not only about me, but the future of this company as we transgen into the electric vehicle is such a push. You know what I'm saying?
That's a great point, because this is like the setting foundation for when's the next contract come up for after this one. Normally, is it every 6-7 years?
No, it'll be 4, but they're trying to say, well, maybe make it a 5.
So
that's too long.
There's a big push.
Big push. Anybody say push? Yeah, so that is a very, very major thing for the Auto 3. You know what I'm saying? And, we love the sport. Keep buying Rams. Keep buying Chrysler. But in the United States, I mean, all our vehicles are good.
I will say, please bring the prices down. Otherwise, I might have to make a move.
Yeah,
you got to do what you got to do.
Right.
The average dude, man, I don't know if, we talk lease, man. There ain't no good leases. I don't think that'll ever happen for a long time. But, man, it's hard to look at a new car right now.
And you need to make something that your people can afford as well.
Right.
Why have them work for you if they can't buy your product?
Well,
you ain't going to do it at $15 an hour. Sorry.
True.
Yeah. The profits are so big because of that. Because, if they're selling a Grand Cherokee for $80,000 and they got to make money, but they got to pay you and they got to pay everybody else. But then if they're pocketing all this loot, who's getting screwed in the end? The guy that don't work for Stellantis or GM or Ford.
Right.
It's you and me. And I look at these new cars, I'm like, now I'll buy it used. Mm-hmm. And I'll take my chances because I'm not going to spend that kind of money.
I don't blame you.
Let's all eat good. That's how you do it.
Absolutely. So I'll be over to you.
Yeah, so I was just looking up some stuff here. Coast Guard is responding to a freighter on Lake Michigan that's leaking diesel fuel, 45,000 gallons of diesel fuel out of a freighter just out off the Lake Michigan coast right now. That's not good, for the ecosystem or the Great Lakes and things of sorts. Cedar Point seems to be having some issues with their roller coasters again. People are getting stuck on this new roller coaster. They keep making the bigger, faster stuff. And I see this, it seems like every summer, because obviously that's when these theme parks are at their peak. Could you guys, we just talked about heights, right? We just talked about things way up in the air. Could you imagine being stuck way about 400 feet up in the air, dangling off of a roller coaster?
You're always going to have that.
And that's the fear, I think, when you get on these things, because it plays in the back of your mind like, man, I just seen something on the news, and these dudes got stuck, and all these people are screaming, and they're stuck up there for 3-4 hours because you got to find the equipment to get up there to get them.
And you have to be helicoptered.
Yeah.
I always thought about that. There's a movie. I don't know if you guys ever seen Resident Evil. But there's an episode a movie with the roller coaster flies off. There's like one with the tanning bed. So there's certain things that trigger you. So I never wanted to go tanning.
Yeah, dude, it's like these crazy things that happen. And I was walking my dog this morning and just observing my neighborhood. It's like they're doing the sidewalks, Philly, in my neighborhood right now, where they're
have fun with that, Bill.
No, thank God I didn't get dinged on one. My sidewalks, knock on wood. Hold on, I got to find the right drop. Is fine, but they're Xing out these sidewalks anyway. So these people are going to get some bills.
Knock on wood if you're with me.
There it is. I seen a yellow finch that got. It must have truck. It was a Ram truck. Ironically enough, those little yellow birds you see flying around in your yard once in a while. Like, someone's pet bird must have got loose, and it's a beautiful yellow bird. And this thing got stuck right in the grill of this truck.
Oh,
I thought it was fake, and I was like, I stopped. And I looked. I'm like, damn, that's a real bird, And then we go back to the smoke and the roller coasters getting stuck and all this, shit you're talking about, Resident Evil and all, whatever you just talked about. Like, all this crazy shit happens in our world, and it's like, I'm starting to become a conspiracist.
You ask yourself
I'm starting to wonder sometimes.
Do you put yourself
not just about
in
the
that
roller coaster
situation?
part. Yeah.
Do you be that situation where maybe the next time you're stuck?
That's why
I doubted this.
Right.
And I did it anyways, and my tuition told me not to do it.
Were you ever a roller coaster fan?
I went 2 times on the Demon Drop and the other one. That was it. That was enough for me. I'll go on the water logs.
Did you? That's a safe bet, right? I mean, at least if you fall out, you can swim your way through.
Yeah, you got to look at things. I mean, I just think it's courageous when you see people jumping on this. It's like, that bungee's not guaranteed.
Fuck, dude,
no, it's
bungee
not.
jumping,
You are
skydiving.
that point.
I mean,
doing it.
Throwing your life like anything can happen.
Oh, hell no.
Would you do it for $1 million? Jump
No,
out of a
absolutely
plane?
not.
So someone said, Holly, we're going to take you up 25,000 feet. Everything's going to look like minuscule.
I grew up.
You're going to see the curve of the earth.
Nope.
$1 million, you jump.
Show it to me on video.
Oh, okay. So would you, Philly? Would you do it?
For $1 million?
Yeah.
I'd have to think about it for a minute.
You might have a heart attack going down. You might never get to that $1 million. But
I know. I'm
We'll
an
take that
anxious
money.
person as it is. Push.
Push.
But I don't know if I could do it, man. It'd be tough.
I mean, do you guys have any daredevil in you at all? Like, is there anything that you would say, I might do that,
I used to do a lot of stupid shit when we were younger, but
but nothing extreme, like
No.
bungee jumping off of a bridge in like Oklahoma that's 500-600 feet, up in the air?
You got to think of possibilities.
No.
What could happen?
Not really.
Like situation you're putting yourself in could go south that quick.
could.
Yeah,
There's no turning back.
I feel most comfortable with my feet on the ground.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I'm not one of them people that's into that. I mean, probably the closest thing I did as far as daredevil-like stuff is I went parasailing. And it was peer pressure.
That would be cool, though. I think I would definitely do that. Because we tried to do it in Florida, but it was booked out.
Yes, that one was one of those. I can't believe I did a zip line. That's really not that hard. If it's I went to beginner stuff.
That rafting on the boat, that's pretty.
I mean,
Oh,
You guys are moving pretty quick.
yeah,
man.
that tubing. Yeah, that's crazy too. At my age, I can't even think of it. You tried it the last time, right? Did you go?
last year,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, they were flying around, man.
I was bouncing
you were
off like
beat up,
crazy.
yeah.
I was hurting for like 3 days after that.
And when you fly off it, I'm looking back at these guys, and I'm like, you see them just.
Oh man, they're
Cross the
skipping
water.
like a rock, and that's like
Yeah.
hitting cement, man. I've watched Drew do that stuff, and Maddie, and all these other Jeff. He's been out there doing it. Nick, I'm like, oh, you guys are so crazy, man.
Eddie, God rest his soul, man.
Yes,
He used to beat us up out there.
Oh, intentionally.
He loved it. Yeah.
Oh, and I remember him driving the boat when a couple of you guys were out there. He's like, get ready for this, hang on. And he would just gun that throttle. And he'd just be flying around and doing zigzags. And
Yep.
Drew would be hanging out for his dear life,
Still
man.
can't believe that.
He retired my mom and his wife, Chris, because they were outside, and he just caught it right. And they were coming in together. They hit tubes. Both flew up like probably 20 feet in the air and hit.
man.
They're like, I'm done. Never doing it again.
Oh, hell no.
I can't see your mom doing it. You'd be like, get me out this thing, get me out.
Oh,
Yeah, parasailing, though, Philly, believe it or not, it's actually pretty cool. We did it, and I was surprised, Hollywood. We went up on this freaking, they put you on a rope and you just keep going, and it's got a winch, and you keep going, and all of a sudden, I thought it was going to be loud. It was so peaceful, quiet. It was just bizarre. It was quite the opposite of what I thought it was.
Aren't you up there kind of like a kite?
Like a kite.
And they bring you right back down?
Yep, you got a kite with a fat dude like me on in a little seat,
Hey.
like a little swing. Whee! And it was kind of cool, but after a while there, I was like, okay, I'm ready to come down because the wind started picking up and the sail kind of moves you back and forth, even though the boat's still going straight. And then there's a bunch of YouTube videos where the line breaks, and that starts playing in your mind, so you get anxiety. And I'm like, all right, I'm ready to come down now. And we're in Mexico, and the guy's like, "See, you like it, senor? No, get me down."
Right.
You see the people that zip line in the valleys of the mountains in between and over the water? No.
I did that down Old Las Vegas. That was dope, though. That was pretty
you
cool.
did in Fremont?
Yeah.
You laid down on that thing and you went.
Yep, shot all the way down. You go like halfway down, it takes you down to the end of the strip.
Was it cool?
That was sweet.
I seen it when I
'Cause
was
all
there.
the lights and shit.
How
all
high
the
are
people.
you up?
It's not that high. It's probably maybe a story.
Yeah,
like
you can
building,
watch the
maybe-
people flying over your head, and I'd say they're about 70 to
Like
100
these
feet.
people are up there. They're probably 90 feet up in the air, and then they're just zipping. Zzz.
I would say probably like the top of B's house. You
Well,
go down
anyway,
for like
yeah,
half
anyway,
miles.
yeah,
That's not
anyway.
bad.
Yeah, I mean that's on Fremont. We see when we were
All
there,
open.
it was packed. There was a line. I mean, you got to wait a while to
Yeah.
get your turn because I
Yeah.
think they only let 2 people go at a time. But
Right.
it was pretty sweet.
But now remember, you're on that cliff, and you see all them rocks with the water down in
Oh, I know.
Right, and
Yeah.
you see a sea of sharks. You're like,
Oh, so
oh,
you're like, hey, what is that coming out of the back of his pants?
that's a turd. He just shit his jaw.
He shit himself. Tom, yeah.
Tom, yeah.
That's all I had, Philly.
All right, boys, let's take a quick break, and we'll be back with a this or that.
Samuel. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here for the this or that.
Tommy, it's been
Jack is back.
Tommy.
Tommy. All right. Let's do this. Would you rather wash your vehicle 5 times a week or do house chores 5 times a week?
What a nasty question. Very nasty.
They're both chores, that's for damn sure. But I think I enjoy cleaning the vehicle better, so I'd probably do the vehicle.
What is up, my bro, my sugar friend?
I'm gonna say house chores. Why?
Yeah.
Because it's different. I mean, I think cleaning the car, I just take it to a car wash, let the machines do it. For me, cleaning the house would be a little bit more variety, because there's always something that needs to be cleaned in the house. You could start in one corner and work your way back. And
That's true.
Next thing you know, like, God damn it, I got to paint, so you never get bored.
Yeah.
So I do the crib. You follow?
I'm gonna say the ride, because you got to get in them little crevices.
Crevasses.
You know what I mean? We get the little brush out, and you got to make it not a better feeling than knowing your ride's tight. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? The detail on the inside and whatnot,
and what have you.
Yeah, I'll take that all day over house chores, no doubt.
I've been slacking on that on my vacation, by the way.
And I got to do mine too. I got to clean mine. I'm thinking about getting into detail too. So you get to celebrate this special occasion, but you only get to celebrate one. Either your birthday, which could be an extravaganza, or Christmas that year. But you can only do one.
I'm going Christmas.
Christmas over your birthday.
I'll sacrifice my birthday for, like, this year in particular.
But let's just throw it at you this way. It could be your 50th birthday. The mega.
Yeah, well, maybe by the time I get 50, I want it to be about me. But I don't know, that's tough. That's a good question, actually. But I love Christmas. I always have as a kid. So I enjoy the get-togethers. Like this last Christmas, I hosted. Everybody seemed to have a great time. I love it, man. I love the season. It's a little stressful as you get older. You know, it doesn't feel like as Christmassy as it used to, per se, but...
Because you're not a kid no more.
Right, but I do still enjoy it. So
yes.
I think I'm going to go Christmas.
I'm with Philly. I'm happy when my birthday comes around. That means I got another year. But I got to do Christmas, man. There's the spiritual part of it, the family part of it.
Your 50th birthday, once in a lifetime.
I've already been there and done that, Brett.
But it's the 50th, and you're willing to have Christmas over your 50th celebration.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. I'm doing it.
I would say Christmas, too.
Yeah.
All right.
I always love Christmas.
Indeed.
Yes. Well, this comes in 2 parts. If you had a chance, and there's no recording per se down there, either to watch the Super Bowl or WrestleMania's on it with some of your favorite guys, which one you watching? And you can't, well, I'll record and watch that later. There's no record. It's one or the other.
If they were on the same day,
same time.
I'm still going Super Bowl, though. It's going to hurt because I love them both, and I've said that. But
and you won't know who won.
It's always football, just a tad bit. You know what I mean? I love football, so I guess it's got the nod. But it would be tough for me. I'd be checking those results right after.
Woo!
You understand?
You understand?
Real. It's a no-brainer. I mean, I'm not against this whole wrestling thing. I know it's a big D for you guys, but I'm definitely going to say for me, it's got to be football. There's nothing else I'd rather watch than a Super Bowl.
What if it was the Pickleball World Championship?
Oh, pickleball all day. Braz, come on, man. That's money. How about you, Hollywood?
We're gonna put this different for you.
Oh, Jesus. Here we go.
Oh, hell no.
It's the Super Bowl. Or you're celebrating your 25th wedding anniversary that day.
Knock on wood if you're with me.
All right, so
Either or.
is my home team in the Super Bowl?
You don't know who's going to be in the Super Bowl.
Or
It's either your 25th anniversary that day, you celebrate it, or you watch the Super Bowl.
we celebrate it watching the Super Bowl, Brad.
No, you get one or the other.
Oh. Well,
you're going to get manis and petties and, maybe a massage, but can't watch the Super Bowl.
And yes, Vicky is listening.
Come on, don't bullshit me.
He's pickled right now. You didn't think you were getting away with that wrestling, did you?
No, not really. God, so I can't watch the Super Bowl. I have to.
Oh, you can, absolutely. But you're not celebrating that 25th year. That means so much to her.
Well, I'm going to. John Gruden, Dayton University. I'm definitely going to have to do it with the wife. I just, what a puss. What a puss.
Hey, I think we found Bush.
Hey, I'm a little softy over here. Like, what are you going to do?
She's like, I'm watching the Super Bowl.
Put some respect on my name.
Okay. You had a choice, but you only get to go to one or the other. One of the awesomest country singers in the world, your choice, or one of your best R&B, but you only get to go to one concert.
Who are you?
Which concert are you going to?
I feel like I just went to my favorite country singer, so I think I'd have to try R&B. It'd probably be like a Lauryn Hill or something like that. Because I really do, low-key, I love R&B. It's smooth, it's classic. It's just always a good vibe. You could play it anywhere, anytime. As long as it's not like all love songs, but smooth, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I enjoy that.
But you got your best for best.
Well, since I've seen my current favorite, I'm going R&B.
I'm going to do country because I haven't quite seen some of the big country shows that are now seem like they're appealing to me. So I would flip that. I'd do country.
If I'm going to go and I love R&B, but if Chris stayed, I'm going to see him.
Okay. There you go.
Acquired that dude. That guy has bought me in after that Super Bowl. Oh man, phenomenal.
Concerts. You guys, you've probably been to some. I mean,
I want to see that ass.
What's good about it?
I want to see that ass.
They're great.
I want to see them hips too right now.
Hollywood would have went nuts down there.
Oh yeah, oh Lord have mercy! I did them hips. I did it.
Hey, you want to get high, man?
Okay. Your way, you only get one choice. You're either going to fly your way around the world or you're going to road trip it around the world. But you only get one choice.
Well, you can only road trip so far.
True.
And that's already in the plan. Me and Mike are going to do that. So I'm gonna fly around the world. Dine with kings and queens.
I'd probably fly. You can drive, but you can't drive around the world. Right. Because there's oceans and valleys between continents and so forth. I'm flying, man.
Yep,
I'm definitely flying.
Knock on wood if you're with me.
What are you doing, Hollywood?
I'm road tripping it. I don't want to miss anything.
No? But you could rent a car when you fly somewhere, though.
No, you either get to fly there, and there ain't no...
So what do you do when you get there? You got to walk everywhere?
No. You'll road trip through there.
Road trip.
Or you're going to... If you're going down to Alabama, you're going to ride down to Alabama. You ain't going to go through Tennessee and all that right there.
Oh, all right.
So you're saying it's not technically around the world, it's to a destination.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so now that's a game changer now, Phil.
Okay.
Phil, what you going to do?
All right, Gran.
What you going to do, Phil?
But you get some people say, I'm going to fly because I want to get there quicker.
I don't know who the fuck is real now. No.
Yeah, but you see more if you're doing the drive. I'm with you on that, but it's here in the United States, though, right?
Yeah,
so
someplace you may have to. You know what I'm saying?
We'll watch soccer cat football in East Detroit. I think I might drive if it's like destination type stuff, and it's kind of like that whole United States. I might drive that. That would be kind of cool because you do miss a lot.
Because you ain't gonna drive no goddamn Dubai.
That's true. Yeah. I don't know. You change your game plan?
No, I'm going to fly.
I think I'm still flying. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who am I?
And that's my five.
Who am I?
Who's at my five right there, sir?
What up, world? It's your boy Philly, the Fives of the Week. Have you ever thought about making a podcast? Well, Spotify's got a platform that lets you make one super easily, then distribute it everywhere and even earn money, all in one place for free. It's called Spotify for Podcasters, and here's how it works. Spotify for Podcasters lets you record and edit podcasts right from your phone or computer. So no matter what your setup is like, you can start creating today. Then you can distribute your podcast to Spotify and everywhere else podcasts are heard. Video podcasts are also available, optional. When you want to take conversations with your fans to the next level, Q&A and polls are the best way to get them talking. So I highly suggest this. We've been using it for a long time now, and ever since I discovered Spotify for Podcasters, I feel like we took our show to the next level. I highly recommend you give it a try. So download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to www.spotify.com/podcasters to get started. All right, y'all, it is now time for the sports portion of the show. Real quick, so for Monday Night Football, Monday Night Countdown, it's looking like it's going to be Scott Van Pelt and Laura Rutledge. You guys see that? So, they let all those guys go at ESPN.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, yeah, they laid off a bunch of people.
Why?
Susie Colbert, Steve Young, Keyshawn.
Cutbacks?
Yes.
Yeah, they got rid of a ton of people.
All that money they're making? Come on.
A ton. You know why? Because McAfee's supposed to sign on, get a big, big deal. So,
but he's kind of quirky, dude. You know what I mean?
I like him.
I like him in wrestling, not as an analyst.
He's a big personality. It's almost like it's reminiscent of who's the guy from Saturday Night Live that did Monday Night Football?
Oh, Dennis Miller.
Yeah, it seems like one of those. I don't know if it's going to necessarily translate.
You think they're going to try?
He's been an NFL player. It's a little bit different.
Yeah, I remember the Dennis Miller era with Monday Night Football. That was kind of like you had a jokester in the booth, and it was. I'd rather have a Frank Caliendo in there that would be doing some impersonations of people.
Nothing like a man,
like doing the Madden. Or that would be very cool to have that entertainment.
He's like, Glennon, I like you. We needed a quarterback with some neck.
What about Aikman?
Guy,
no more Troy.
They're still doing the Monday Night Football. But this is for the countdown. You know how they had that big panel, Randy Moss and all those guys? They let everybody go.
That sucks. And I like Steve Young. He was kind of a wet noodle, but he was kind of like, he was the analytical guy. He knew the football part of it.
Yeah, he'd get real pickled out there, though. Like, he was always, like, stuttering and stuff.
Well, maybe I don't like him now. I think about it. You're right.
What about the
Keyshawn? I liked him.
Reddick? Is he gone, too?
I think he stayed on, I believe.
I like him. He knows his stuff, man.
Neil Everett, guy who's been on SportsCenter forever, he's gone.
Yeah. A lot of those guys got the chop, man. That's too bad.
There's a bunch of talented people.
They're trying to change with the times, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, try to go with what's hot. So, B, you were down at training camp yesterday, right?
Yeah, I was. Really cool. It was really cool, man. I get to see these guys. We know who a lot of the players are, but there was guys, there was so many people there. I couldn't believe it, man. Took my nephew. He's the one that came in from Hawaii on military leave, and he was so happy he got the chance to do that before he went back. You guys seen a few of these pictures, and it's one of the perks you get with being a season ticket holder. It's nothing special, but just to seeing these guys, like I seen Gibbs. He's a small little dude, man. I couldn't believe how, our number one pick, he's a tiny little guy. But quick. Oh my gosh, was he fast. Mm-hmm. Like they were doing their plays, and I'm watching the plays develop and stuff like that. And, they're doing real blocking and stuff. They're hitting. This dude, man, he is going to be special. I mean,
is he as fast as advertised?
Oh, yeah. You could definitely say. I wasn't putting on a show for fans. That's just natural athletic ability. He's very fast.
He's what, 210, 215?
Yeah, you don't even look that, Hollywood. Honestly, this guy looks like he weighs $1.50. I mean, he's not a very big guy, but he's low to that center of gravity, sort of like Barry Sanders, but he doesn't quite have that NFL build. And speaking of NFL builds, Hutch, he looks like he put on some muscle, man.
That's good. He
had those scrawny little legs. That college build. They don't have them development. Trainers like you do in the NFL, man. This is all business, man. You're important to us. You're on our payroll. We're paying you big money. You're in that gym 6 days a week, and man, does he look big. Like he went from a big guy to a huge guy. Now you can just see it like in his chest when
we're going to need him
off.
to have a big season.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Fans are excited, man. We were talking earlier today about first time in 21 years down at Ford Field. Season tickets sold out.
Isn't that the first time at Ford Field?
Yeah, we only been 21 years. I mean, they sold season tickets out at the old Pontiac Silverdome. They had some good teams, but this is the first time in the history of this team being at Ford Field that no season tickets available. Now it's just a select handful of miscellaneous games with some tickets and standing room now. So that tells you you're going to get 67,000 people down there every game.
I got a guy looking for. He wants the Carolina game.
Carolina
when they play them.
I could check around. I mean, I always usually give up a couple games a year, but with expectations, even call it drinking the blue Kool-Aid. I mean, gosh, there's not too many games. If you're looking for a set, is that what you're looking for? We could try to put some feelers out there.
Like I said, I told him I'd talk to you about it.
Yeah.
And he said, yeah. He goes, I'd like to see that Carolina game. I go, what if you can't get the Carolina game? He goes, well, then just let me know. I said,
Does he listen to the show?
Yeah.
Okay. Is he getting a bonus check?
I told him. I said, listen.
I'll talk to him.
You be my defensive coordinator.
Take it easy.
Yeah,
I'll check it
out. Griff. He looked like linebacker from the Steelers. Griff.
Big guy, huh?
Yeah.
Griff
has grit.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But yeah, that was really cool, Philly. That was a lot of fun. I'm just, this whole freaking football season, we've been talking about it for months, but it's here now. Hell, like we just said, there's a game on tonight.
Yeah.
What are we missing? Did Aaron Rodgers tear an ACL yet?
Grit.
I don't know.
We don't know.
Did you hear that they said about when Gibbs was coming, they were literally sweating because they did not want to lose this guy. They were literally just in a thing in the war room. They said they had to have this guy.
Did you watch Inside the Den? Did you see that show yet?
No, I didn't see it yet.
Dude, have you not watched that show?
Watched it yet.
It's free. How would YouTube it? Inside the Den, I believe that's the name of that show. Just catch the last episode. That's when they did what you just described. The behind-the-scenes footage of the draft in the war room. Brad Holmes and Campbell had that master list. They wouldn't show it to you because they blurred that part out. They don't want to give up, that's potential for maybe even next season for certain players or whatever positions. But, man, it's so intense, and you would never see this watching the draft on TV.
Oh, of course.
You got to watch it, I'm telling you.
It came up in our group chat, and someone sent it, so I got to check it out. I think it'd be cool. And
they said Spielman, yeah.
Yeah, Spielman's out there, and I guess Dan Campbell gave him a ton of credit, for what he's done. He doesn't tell anybody what to do, but he gives valuable insight.
Yeah.
We talked about how important Spielman was to be part of this organization.
Yeah, he was part of that Campbell linebacker thing, too.
Oh, God, yeah.
And they were like this to him.
Yeah.
And you see him, he's got that, not the neck like it used to be before, but, like this, you're like, oh, I know you're behind that, too.
Well, without giving too much of this away, you mentioned Gibbs, Campbell, and
how does he look?
Scrawny.
Campbell look 6'5".
6'5". He doesn't look like a beast. Fast, tall.
How about Laporta?
Laporta's going to be a beast. He was with the first stringers the whole practice. I mean, they had second string, first string, then they had the all others sitting on the other side of the field. I'm watching the main guys play.
We got our Kelsey.
He was in on every first. I mean, all your starters, you can almost see how they're lining them up at this point. They platoon different receivers in. But, that 87, number 87, I think that's his number. They were doing a lot of slants, and he's very fast.
Isn't that Kelsey's number, too, 87?
87,
yeah. He was definitely going to be something. And then Campbell, the linebacker, I looked at him just to kind of look at the size. You look at Anzalone. He's a big dude up in close person. He's a big guy. They're all big guys in the NFL, most of them. Campbell looked like he's got that college build still next to these seasoned pros already. Yeah. You could see this how Hutch took it up a level this season.
Yeah.
And you looked at a couple of these other guys that just coming in out of college, and they're a year or two away from getting that physique.
Well, we dodged a bullet with Gardner Johnson. His injury is not as serious as we first
was scary.
thought. So there was that, and I think Zylstra, one of the backup tight ends, I think he's going to be out for quite some time.
And we already just signed another tight end.
Yeah, I mean, you value depth. That's why you have to have guys, because training camp comes around, guys get hurt.
Yeah, they went out and got somebody else, and I mean, they didn't waste no time. How many times in the past have you known we lagged foot?
Yeah.
And we lagged foot. These guys, I was trying to tell these guys at work, too, the same thing. I said, listen, you can start to hear the buzz. Oh, yeah. I said, I guarantee you will be putting that Lions hat on.
Well, I'm going to read you a quote from Bugs. He said about Dan Campbell, quote, I can say Dan is more in tune with his players. He's more in tune with everybody, no matter if you're at the top of the depth chart or at the bottom. He treats everybody like they're somebody. And this was talking from, playing in Pittsburgh, who Mike Tomlin is, a great football coach that much respect people love. So that's big kudos to Dan Campbell.
So let me ask you guys, there's some people out there saying that Dan Campbell and this coaching staff has changed culture. I think we can clearly see there's a culture change that's happened here.
Sure.
Yet there's a percentage of fans, and I heard it yesterday, that Campbell is setting the foundation for us to get the coach. And I looked at this guy talking to his buddy, and I heard this elsewhere as well, and I'm thinking, was it the same guy, or is this just how people are thinking? Because it never enters my mind that how could you say a guy like Dan Campbell changed what we were used to 3 years ago, which was shit. Let's call it what it is. It was tough to be a fan. Now you've got sellout of all your season tickets. You've got everybody pumped up. Even if you're not a real Lions fan, you're kind of curious now because you're hearing it all around you.
Yeah.
Why would someone think that if this is what he's building, is this excitement, maybe he has a decent season, are we opening the door for possibly, if, say, he falters a little bit, they can bring a Tomlin or a caliber like maybe not Andy Reid, but a coach like him, if there's one out there at that time? Is that opening the door? Is he? And he'll still be in good graces here.
I think at the end of the day, it's a wins business, though, right?
Yes.
So right. So if he's winning, he ain't going anywhere.
If he falls short, then you have to think about it, right? And that's unfortunate because, look, you see him building it. It could be a Carlisle, Larry Brown situation where, hey, you can only get us this far.
Right? Yes,
Great coach.
Yes.
We need a guy to come in and take us over the top.
Yes,
but
yes.
Yeah, the jury's still out. So until we have at least one significant winning season, got to let this play out. People are always going to run their mouths just because we've been jaded here in Detroit for so long. Give him a solid chance. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Let him have his... I mean, you gave other slapdicks 4 years. Dan Campbell deserves a good tenure, So let's
agree,
see
but
him
why would
play
people right now even be thinking that? Is that because we're so gun shy from our past?
Well, they see now.
I still don't know
all
yet.
the potential there. If you don't do something with this, then that's a real problem.
So what hypothetically, 17 games, we missed the playoffs by one more game this year, but man, we played a good season. We beat Kansas City, and we beat the big teams, but we
They'll give
fell
him another
short.
year. They'll give him another
Is there another grace?
I think so. Another year.
And you build on one more year to see it?
If it's a winning record, yeah. But it's still going to be disappointing because of what you have and the expectations.
The hype train's here, man.
If you're not there and at least winning a playoff game, I think, at least you have to minimum get in the playoffs.
Yeah,
if you miss it by a game, then it's okay, you're in that gray area where, all right, let's try this one more time, try to run it back. One more shot. But if it's a terrible year...
I mean, guys, you don't want to think about it. And a couple weeks ago in Hollywood...
He'll be gone, I believe.
You were mentioning the Super Bowl, and we were laughing. Well, guess what? Detroit is right now the front runner for the NFC for Super Bowl. How? I don't know. I mean, we talked Philly, we talked to other good teams, and I just heard something that Detroit's now coming closer to the top.
The bets, the odds are through the roof right now.
So maybe you're not crazy as we thought. If maybe you're ahead of the game or something, but I thought that would be so crazy to think about that because it's not even in my freaking psyche to think that. But
I mean, if you win a division,
people are buying in.
You got to be right there.
Yeah. I mean, we're in the business to win. You could be the nicest guy all you want to be. You could put pieces together all you want. But at the end of the day, if them are not W's and we're not going forward, we will find someone to replace. Just like any job. You went as far as you could go. Now I need that one to put me over the edge. I have to be there.
Yeah.
Or we all look like fools.
What was it? Larry Brown, you brought up a good analogy of sport, other coaches. Was it Larry Brown, then Carlisle came in? Or was it Carlisle? Vice versa. Carlisle, then Brown, who came in and won. Mm-hmm. Both good coaches to who they are, but one just couldn't quite get them there, so you got to bring in the crusher. And it's a title, but, that's what you have to do, because at that point, is it just business?
Yeah, but I mean, here people are always going to question it until the day they actually win something. Mm-hmm. Just because of everything we've been through. Like I said, jaded.
Absolutely.
Lions fans are completely jaded.
So are you drinking a Kool-Aid, Philly?
I'm in. I actually believe in this team. And I took, like I said, I didn't want to go to games for a few years. I was just kind of over it. I was like, you know what? I get my heart and soul in this team. Love this football team. I'll always be a fan. Still watched every game, but I'm not going to pay money if they're not going to really take this shit serious. Because their fans deserve a winner. Let's call it what it is.
And you'll know.
Guys like you that have paid their money year in and year out. People that invest their time and buy gear and all this shit. Like we got Lions footballs here. We got blankets. We get, you know what I'm saying? Like we're all in. We love it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, now I can actually see something coming together. So I'm in it, man. I actually believe that they're going to be good. Very good.
I'm with you. Not just because being a fan all these years, but you've seen that progress we talked about. That end of the season was writing the book.
You see them pieces, like the pieces they went out and got. You see what type of players they are for their team and what they've done. We've never really had guys besides Barry. You looked at a guy, and then he became average.
We had our star. Calvin, Barry, Billy Sims. We had players.
You went bam.
I think the last time I was this invested was that year when we had Ndamukong Suh, Ansah. We lost to Dallas.
I wasn't big on Ansah, though.
Like,
me neither.
I'm not that guy that's like, Lions, they're going to win 10, 11 games when they're trotting out Oz Hakeem and Bill Schrader. Who was fourth for the Packers.
Who the fuck are these guys?
Bunch of junk players, man.
Come on, man.
Where are they now?
Suh was a dominant piece. Rodgers. I mean, they put the fear in you. That's went away. Now these guys will bring it back in a different, way. Houston, Hutch, Bugs, the new guy, Brodick Martin. When he gets a chance, he don't want to be. He don't want to wait. Jamo. I don't want to wait. But hey, son, this is part of you're a year in. You got to learn. It's different. The atmosphere is different. But you got to get. If you go and lose by a field goal or something, you're in that game. Look at Buffalo. 4 Super Bowls they blew. They shit the bed, but they were there every time. Then it comes to a point. It's just not enough.
Right, man.
I got to win that big game.
Jim Kelly, 4 Super Bowls, man.
Josh Allen's going to run the same thing.
Yeah.
You're not going to win it, son. You need to come out of Buffalo and go somewhere else.
So you really don't make your mark as a dynasty or a fantastic, memorable. You'll remember those Buffalo Bills.
Oh, ain't no doubt.
But you remember they had good teams, but they didn't win the Super Bowl.
That team's cursed. They're cursed as well.
It's kind of, it's a one-off. At that point, let's talk about Pittsburgh. Let's talk about Cowboys. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about 49ers. Let's talk about New England. And those teams will forever in the books hold.
And Pittsburgh's going to be good if Pickett gets off.
Yeah,
that team's going to be good.
You see, like the Niners, they had their turn like the 80s and the 90s, and they're still good and relevant, but they can't seem to get over that hump for whatever reason. So I don't necessarily feel bad, like, like we have been hurting for decades. We deserve to be there. We need to be there. So it's time now.
And I think, Philly, that's kind of why the hype is what it is, because we're so starved. We are so starved as fans that, man, we haven't seen anything like this. Some of us weren't even around when we could remember.
Well, when's the last time you've seen a coach like literally lean into that, though? Like really take on that identity. I mean, you had
never
guys
in Detroit.
I love Jim Caldwell. I sound like fucking Martha,
right? We love Jim. We wish him well,
but I love him as a man, as a coach. But he didn't show that same fire and tenacity. He didn't really lean into.
He's an assistant, man, for mentorship,
the fan side of it, and that's really kind of what we needed to continue to have his support. Maybe if he got another year, who knows what could happen. But Dan Campbell really gets it. He gets the whole picture. From the on-field stuff to the off-the-field stuff. I just feel like he's well-rounded.
He progressed.
And just cut from a different cloth. And I think that's why I really hope he's going to be successful. And I see strides, man. I believe in it.
What coach did you see?
Grit.
Win on every motherfucking fourth down. Said, okay, we got nothing. He told that team right there, you ain't got nothing to lose at this point. And then he turned around the following year, pulled back on some of them. Pulled back on him. He was learning. Okay, I can't keep allowing myself to do this.
No guts, no glory.
But that
how was his motto, man. He's like, I got nothing to lose. I'm going to experiment with this project. But then again,
you know what he ran into?
He's going to do a lot of fourth down. He's going to be doing.
He's going some, but he was better managing it. I ain't got a kicker that's worth the shit here. He's shaky at 46. No, they're about ready to sign that 49ers kicker. And that guy was
Roddy
too
Gold?
shaky. Yeah.
He's been.
We got to go
forever.
forward. We got to go forward. and I can't trust him, so I got to go for it.
Well, and your offense was your best unit last year, bar none. So you might as well have them on the field as opposed to your special teams. Or
our defense wasn't that great last year. I mean, we struggled. Yeah, we made strides towards the end. But going back to what you said, man, about buying into this coach. The guy played 10, 11 years in the NFL. He was part of the 0-16 Lions, I believe. Mm-hmm. He went to 2 Super Bowls. Dan Campbell, I didn't know this. He went with the Giants.
In Dallas.
Lost. And
was it Saints?
It was New Orleans.
Yeah.
But he was on injured reserve. Although New Orleans won, he didn't get a ring. Because he was on injured reserve. I guess that's part of that shitty. But, the guy in the front office probably got his. Like, I got mine. But he's on a team and worked his ass off his whole career. And they won a Super Bowl, but he never got a ring. What a bummer.
Well, that's extra motivation.
You think about it. Dan Campbell played at Texas A&M. He was a big dude. He grew up on a ranch in Texas. He was wrestling steer for fun, he said. So you look at a guy that size, 6'5", 270. I mean, he's a monster of a man.
He's a guy that cares.
Even now.
Did you see that meme of it was Patricia
on a golf or on the
golf cart, and you got Dan Campbell down doing push-ups with his team.
Right, Dan Campbell's on the ground doing all this shit, and there's Patricia. Hey, where's the Coney Dogs at, man?
But that will bring other guys to come here. That will bring.
As a player's coach, and I got to tell you this, I asked Tracy Walker this, and I swear to you guys, he was standing in front of me. I didn't care about autograph or anything. I said, Tracy, yeah, man, a lot of bling, dude, tons of it. I said, does Campbell live up to all this hype that we're hearing in the media and are out here as fans? He goes, you have no idea, man. I said, is he? He goes, one of the most intense guys you'll ever be around, bro. That's what he said. and then I said, so what do you do after practice? I started turning the Chuck at that point. I was like, and then I said, is it over? I mean, after this, I said, where do you guys go from here? He goes, man, our day don't end till 8 o'clock. The practice started at 8:30 and went to about 11. Then they blow the whistle, the horn goes off, and the guys skedaddle. Then they go into breakout sessions for meetings. Then they got to go to weightlifting. So it's all day, man.
It's a job.
12 hours, basically, is what it is.
Get ready for that season.
And they're conditioning these dudes, man. It's so big bucks. Crazy. But, yeah, he sounded like one of those guys that... And I'm just curious, as a fan as you guys would be, to just get a real answer from just a player. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I didn't want no autograph. I want to do a crazy question.
That's cool, though.
Yeah.
And just think who's going to be a sleeper, too, is that Branch. That Branch guy's going to fit in well with them guys.
Yeah.
And he come from Alabama.
Yeah, there's a lot of excited fans talk about bandwagoners. There's probably a ton of those, but what was really cool, Philly, is to see a bunch of old dudes down there that finally got hope at this point in their life. They've probably seen the 50 teams and the 50, the Bobby Lanes and all this other kind of stuff. Yeah. But here these guys are in wheelchairs, walking with walkers. They got an old Lions hat on with the old logo from way back when.
Stained, got smoke cigarette stain on it.
Right. Yeah. And you're looking at, and that's why I was thinking, like, man, those guys deserve it probably more than anybody because they have just rode this
Holmes
train
is in on it too.
out and off the rails so many times.
He wants to win. I mean, so it's just put it together now. You got to have the piece to put it together.
Yeah, crazy, man.
And you have the best offensive coordinator in the league,
hands down. Great, and you could see this guy's he's a student of the game.
He's the top.
Not one clipboard. He had one strapped on his side, too. He had 2 clipboards going. He was moving them around. He had one on like a chain, drop that one, snap it in, bring the other one out. He's got it's constant change all the time.
And he was loyal to Campbell. And
You'll never see the same thing with this guy.
He wants to finish this with him. But if not...
How many games have we watched them Lions offenses and predicted the play before they did it, just by their formation? Well, it's going to be a run. And with this guy,
I think that's going to be the challenge for Ben Johnson. Is now they have a year's worth of film on him, so now he's got to get creative and disguise things. And
maybe that was the second clipboard, dude. The new game, packages. The new plan.
Yeah.
And you got Campbell. Look at that shit he called. Who was even expecting that?
Yeah, but Campbell, we talk about him. Time management was against him last season. He made some bonehead calls or didn't clock manage well, and that's part of that learning curve, right? As a head coach,
it wasn't as bad as year one, though.
No, year one was a disaster. Yeah. So
that was bad. I think he just said, "F it, we got nothing to lose. Yes. We're gonna let it all."
You got to give it to him, yeah.
And to a certain degree, kind of did that last year. Once they got behind the 8 ball at 1-7, he started really letting it hang out, and the team rallied behind it. Thankfully, now I don't think you're going to have to do that as much. I think the defense is going to be significantly better. Just got to hope that offense stays put, and you got to hope that you got a kicker that can knocks him
need
long
a kicker,
straight.
Hollywood. We got to have a good guy with a boot,
that's
man.
the guy, and you got to have a great.
Not
heart
since
count.
Prater have I felt confident. Like Prater could kick some ball, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that dude could.
Got to have a hard count. Look at that one game he won us. We won on fourth down. He went and got it, and that shut it down. That ran the clock, ran them out of their timeouts. They were done. That's what you do as a good coach. No, I'm not going to punt it.
Phil.
What?
Well, he's up there.
Oh boy,
He's out pumping someone.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
And he said, "You go for it." And they was all excited. They went and ran it. Boom. Blew their last 2 timeouts. Game over. That's what you do to win.
No, I agree with you, man.
Do not give that team the ball back. You're not getting this ball back.
Yep. And you're seeing, I think Campbell may have started a little something too with this going on fourth, because you started noticing other teams and other games you would watch, they were starting to go for it a little bit more. And it's almost like, we're not afraid of, if we get caught at midfield at this point, because our defense could hold them.
Yeah.
So you're seeing a lot more going for the fourth downs.
He told the people of Detroit, you deserve better. You're this. You're from the city of Detroit. Even when you went in the Ford plant. You work on your bus and grind. You deserve to have a good football team. It's like, you work as hard as you guys work. You know what I mean?
It's relatable.
Yeah.
It's very relatable to your blue-collar people, especially in a town like we have. I mean, we're not in the Hamptons out here.
Yeah.
There's certain pockets in our state that are well-to-do, and it's not about the who's got and who
Team
doesn't
that
have.
cares.
But you're going to really appeal to a fan base. God, man, let's call it what it is. It's your blue-collar people, man.
Yeah, we're excited. It's right
We're the
around
ones that
corner.
are spending that hard-earned buck.
So when's this first preseason game?
First preseason game is next week against the New York Giants. And the Giants are actually coming in for, they're going to be practicing with the Lions next week. And then Jacksonville comes in the following week. So they got some little practice going against, these cats out there. But
Yeah, next Friday.
yeah, next Friday. And then what's the next one? Is it Jacksonville from there? And then they close it out with,
There's Jacksonville, and then there's Carolina.
Carolina. Yeah, I think they're playing. That's the game 4. That's kind of like the garbage game. But what they say, game 3 is rehearsal, more or less.
Yeah.
So we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, looking forward to it, man. So what else is going on? Red Wings, Pistons, Tigers been kind of quiet. We got the deadline coming up.
Yeah, the trade deadline, Hollywood, that this one guy they were trying to let go to the Dodgers, and he decided not to go.
Yeah, Rodriguez, he turned it down. He's like, no. But they got Lawrenson. He went to the Phillies.
Is that the long hair, the pitcher?
Yeah, Michael Lorenzen.
Yeah. Now he'll be able to bat over there because he'll go down as a DH.
Did Lorenzen play in San Francisco?
Yep.
Yes, he did.
I always thought, the mullet, man, the long hair. Not too many of those cats around. Verlander ends up going back to Houston.
Yeah, yeah.
So the Mets didn't want the big contract. They're like,
Scherzer to
forget
Texas.
about that. Don't. We're not paying this guy.
Yeah,
Send him
Scherzer
back
to
to
Texas.
Hey, got that freaking
Scherzer went to a good
Tommy
team, though.
John shit.
Yeah, the Rangers are really
tough.
good.
They are tough.
So who's the front runners in MLB right now? Like, if you had to predict the World Series, what 2 teams are you taking?
I'm gonna say you got Baltimore, Tampa Bay.
Tampa's tough.
You got
Dodgers, are they competitive?
Dodgers. And then you have who's team I was just going to talk about.
The Mets. Are the Mets any good anymore?
No, they're horrible.
I know baseball can get really, really tricky towards the end of the season.
Minnesota's they're not a threat.
Yeah, we're in a weak division right now. Pulling
Tampa
up
Bay,
the standings there, Philly.
Orioles,
Rangers,
Atlanta, and the Rangers. Texas Rangers, they're tough.
Texas is tough.
What about the Twins, Hollywood?
Minnesota?
No, they're average.
Minnesota.
Fargo? That's the Dakotas, right?
What about the Braves, Brez?
Braves, yeah. Atlanta's good, too.
Atlanta has had a hiatus, but remember back in the 90s, man, when Ted Turner on that team, those guys were always in the playoffs, man. They were like
Billionaire
a dynasty.
Billionaire Ted. Come get his ass out here, Billionaire Ted.
You know, I want to ask you this, guys. So the running back situation in the NFL is not as prevalent as it once was, or should I say lucrative, because these guys are not going to get paid the money. I think the last big contract was McCaffrey for a running back. Cook has yet to land a team, as far as I know. Zeke hasn't found a home yet.
I think he's going to the Jets.
Yeah, he was just there, and I think everybody's chanting his name. Did you see that?
But, you know, they try to hold these guys hostage when they come into town. They wine and dine them. They take, man, let me take you to the hot spots in the town. And when the player leaves that door open for some. They're probably waiting.
You know who else wants to go over there, too, is Adams.
Yeah, Devontae.
Said he wants out of the Raiders. Yeah, trade me. Yeah, he goes, I want to go to the Jets. I want to play Rodgers.
Of course he does.
I do not want to. He don't want to stay there.
No. Well, I mean, that's interesting. But so, where do you think Delvin will end up with the Jets? I mean, it seems like a more practical place because you're trying to build something today for to win and to get something in New York City.
I think Rodgers will find a way
to manipulate that thing to happen.
Jets are going to be good.
Take a little
He's going to make he's going to be the difference.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. I think Philly and I share the same. Man, we know he's a great player.
Oh, of course, yeah.
But we're not. He's not my. I wish him well, but I wish him no luck.
With them receivers,
that makes any sense.
The league is a little better when he's good.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't want to see the Jets.
Yeah.
I just don't.
I hope that's we'll see what
the
happens.
New Broadway Joe.
I don't know, man. He could be. The last time they won a Super Bowl was at Super Bowl. What was it, 8 or something like that?
Broadway Joe.
Broadway Joe. They got that lonely Lombardi Trophy. It's been a long time. Shit, we ain't got one, but who cares? I mean, yeah, I'm not with Rodgers, but so going back to these running backs, Zeke Elliott, was he just damaged goods? Nobody wants him. Is he just going to be a backup? Probably.
Zeke's carried the ball so many times. He's
banged up.
It's turn and burn for these guys. I mean, I know we touched on it in the last sports pod, but I mean, like Josh Jacobs just got $12 million.
He did?
Yeah, the Raiders.
Zeke's got 2 years
Saquon
possible.
Just signed, right? He was a holdout, but he ended up signing. He ended up getting, I think it was a $12 million.
If that, maybe a backup.
Yeah, maybe. He might be done.
I mean,
so I guess the point of this was the running backs in the day used to get the big money. Now they're just kind of like running back by committee in most teams now.
Because that was your only guy.
Money on a back.
Yeah. Well, you look at how the game has evolved. Back then it was smash mouth football. Right? You're running in between the lines, so you're going to get your money. Now, like you said, it's a running back carousel. Everyone's got 2-3 running backs now. And I think you split time. Some guys are just in there for pass catching downs.
Tight ends are getting big money now.
Yeah, big Kelsey's, man. I mean, the tight end's a big deal right now.
A lot of those guys want wide receiver money now.
Yeah, right.
Because they get so many receptions, and it makes sense. I mean, if your numbers are rivaling the top receivers in the game, then shit, why not?
Kelsey deserves it. Andrews deserves it. That guy gets pounded.
Pays the men that's fucking money.
Them is fucking money.
His Mahomes is good without Kelsey as he is with him. You think how big of a combo that is, just as Cooper Kupp is to Stafford or a team like that.
They said the same thing without Tyreek Hill. Look what they did last year.
Yes.
Win.
Mahomes is Mahomes.
Yeah. What a dynamic quarterback.
Brady is Brady, even with Gronkowski or with him out.
Brady just bought a soccer team over in England.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, what does he know about soccer?
Oh, did you know Tom was seen with Kim Kardashian?
What?
Are you kidding me?
Why? Why would he want to?
Why not? You're single.
Dude, she had as many dicks sticking out of her, she had energy.
She probably don't even feel it. She don't feel Tom. She don't feel Tom.
Cut it all.
She don't feel Tom.
Her vagine hangs like sleeve of wizard.
Yeah. Did any of you guys see?
She's not bad looking, but man,
that Earl Spence Crawford fight.
I seen. Yeah, Crawford, man, unbelievable.
Crawford beat the hell out of him.
Is this the one he thought was like Marvin Hagler?
Yeah,
or the similarity that cross reference
had him.
Yeah, 3 knockdowns.
Anybody of that caliber of a fighter did what he did to a high caliber fighter like that. Yeah, he's something special. He's up there with Hagler, Leonard, Duran, and Hearns. That's and he's the 5th man.
Bro, that's when boxing was fun.
Good company.
He put the massacre on him like I've never seen. I've never visualized a fight since I was 4 or 5 years old. A fight like that of a champion that's so dominant of his era and forward to beat him like he did. He literally looked at the ref like, basically like, feel sorry for this fucker, man. I'm about ready to knock him out, embarrass him.
Right.
It was that bad. Everything he threw, he said, I already knew after the first round he couldn't do nothing to me. I felt his power. It didn't hesitate. Damn. Yeah, and I really...
That's a special athlete.
Yes, man. And I really think for Earl Spence, who's been in... I didn't know he was in a second car accident at a light, head on. This guy needs to go on and retire and be blessed.
It's over.
He's made it through and got away with escaping death and then getting in the ring because the beating you took as being the number one with all the belts. He had 4 belts. And to be beat like that, and how you talked after your speech, there's some damage.
He looked jacked up. He was very humble, though. He said the better man won, or none. So he was graceful in defeat.
Yes,
but,
he was.
He didn't look right. And I just think Crawford just looked that much better.
Oh,
too.
man. He's a dog. He's a dog in a scrapyard that hasn't been fed in about a month. And that's what he whipped his ass.
Now, see, for me personally, I love boxing, especially all those fighters you just mentioned. Gosh, man, Philly, you got to admit, that was a great era. All those boxers you mentioned. If this kid, or this guy that's Crawford you're talking about, I need to start watching more of that stuff because I used to love and I used to follow boxing.
Mm-hmm.
Great sport.
It is.
These guys are...
Crawford would be one of them.
Athleticism.
Yeah.
Mayweather wouldn't even be able to beat Crawford. No way.
No way.
Nope.
You know who this cat is, Philly? This Crawford guy.
Oh yeah.
He's a total different. He's.
I have to check this.
In this era, but belongs in that other era.
Throwback.
Oh yeah,
he is 100%.
Yeah.
He's. And I was telling a guy, it's so funny because these guys. I said, listen, dude, I'm never going to lie to you. I know this game. I fought in this game. I'm telling you right now, you want to make some money? Oh, no, man, Earl spend. Okay. You should have seen him when I walked in. Put it there. Oh, man, dog, whoever seen that come, I said, what'd I try to tell you? What did I try to tell you?
Cash.
Yeah, and Jazzy Jeff, too. I'm going to collect my money over there. I'm going over there. I said, go get mine. They had 900 excuses why. I said, dude, watch. Flat-footed for one, okay? He took Crawford for granted. What did Crawford tell you right there in that press conference? I was bullied when I was young, so I did anything I had to do to win. He said he had no fear. I go, and then Spence's cousin or uncle had said something stupid. You're going to die in the ring.
Come on.
Really? What a fool.
And the words that Crawford told him, I shall not repeat. And even his wife was out there, doing all this stuff with. And Spencer said, "Come on, guys, come on, sit down."
He was embarrassed.
He was embarrassed. His old family members.
It's like, man.
And Crawford went off on him, dude. Went off on this dude. He said,
"This was the post-fight presser."
Yeah. And at the end, he goes, "You know what? You a bitch. Bitches do that."
Was he not right? He called the shot.
So what he did, he took it on his cousin.
Yeah.
And beat the living. I've never seen a guy.
I got to watch this fight.
Yeah.
I'm sure I can rewatch this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's out there.
Yeah.
But you're a big fan.
Oh, no doubt.
And you're a huge boxing fan.
They always held Crawford back. You'll never draw. You're not the A. You ought to get 20. You don't deserve to get this and that. He said, all I want is my shot. You keep holding me back. This is why they were holding him back for so long.
Well, we're glad he got his shine. Now he's out there on Front Street, man.
Yes, I love. He had his family. Oh man, I chills on my thing, man.
Yeah,
Grip. Yeah.
So you got Jake Paul and.
Did you see that big brawl?
No, what happened?
Oh God! And the way
what happened?
The two bigger guys started going at each other. They said, "This is what we don't want." MMA guys. Yeah, it's crazy because Diaz man. Paul said something. He comes in there. He's doing all this stuff like that. Well, the big dude took knowledge to that shit, Then the other big dude comes, punches thrown. Yeah.
So crazy. Nate Diaz is a UFC fighter. Mm-hmm. He's going to box one of the Paul brothers, Jake Paul. We always talk about, and so he doesn't like the fact that, even though him and Conor had their rivalry, Jake Paul was going at Conor's wife and stuff and kids and saying all disrespect. He's like, I don't like that shit, man.
Yeah,
me and Conor don't like each other. That's crossing the line, man. It's that's a real fight. That's a reason to really fight somebody, So he wants to.
I think he can beat
him. At his ass, man.
I think Diaz can beat him if he can carry the stamina. I think he can beat him.
Yeah,
because he hits hard. He hits hard. Just you should know some of the skills. It's whether your stamina can stand.
Right. The only thing is Jake has been in the boxing ring for so long now.
That's the thing.
That's where I think it gives him the edge.
And he's making a mockery of it. He's making all this freaking money because he goes in the ring. You know what I'm saying? He gets. Who gets to go in there with Roman Reigns and all these people?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you're on the witch caller's brother. Who gives you that right to get all that action?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you're making big money. Seth Rollins and all that. Like, you and your brother are whacked. and people pay for this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, why couldn't you do it? Why couldn't B do it and get millions? You know?
Well, you give credit where credit is due. Obviously, you know, he made his mark on social media.
Yeah.
So kudos to him for that. And
Yes.
Jake actually, he owned his skills. Mm-hmm. Got to the point where he's a competent fighter. You know, there's still, the jury's still out, right? Because once he fought Fury's brother,
Yeah.
you know, Tommy kind of got at him. So
Yeah.
now let's see what happens from then on out. Now he's got to rebuild that.
And I do like him because the guy can wrestle.
Yeah.
He makes it fun. But he's like that little thorn.
Right.
And who's going to be that one that's going to really take him out where he's not going to come back no more?
He's a prick.
Yeah.
Prick, yeah.
Who's going to put him to the end of him where you're not going to come back here no more?
Right.
On both sides, you or your brother.
Yeah. Now, you know, I think Logan's going to beat Ricochet, though, at SummerSlam. Because
I know, I would go for that too. I don't like Ricochet. You're a spin-off of Rey Mysterio. No. And now you got Dum Dum.
Dum, you dum.
Dum Dum. And I think Dum Dum, and like we talked, next couple of years is going to be real big.
Yeah, absolutely.
He may even come out with the I'm Eddie's son and ride it.
Well, they asked him, they said, would you ever consider, you know, patching things up with your father? And he goes, you know what? I really can't because, you know, I'll never get the opportunity because my father is resting in heaven.
No. He went there.
And mind you, his dad is actually alive in the WWE, but he's talking about Eddie because everybody thinks he's Eddie's son. So that was low, man. That was so low. But I'm excited, man. You got a big event, you know, Saturday night, downtown Detroit. And I wanted to see Jake Paul and Nate Diaz, but it's on the same night. I would totally take SummerSlam over that anyway.
You guys are both going, right?
Yeah.
This is the big money ticket you guys bought here back a few months ago.
This is it.
You guys, what's the you guys dressing in some kind of an outfit of some sort to represent a certain fighter, or are you guys just going to show up and just love it?
Not like an outfit. It's not like Comic-Con.
I might buy a shirt down there. I might buy a shirt down there.
Yeah, you're going to do something like that, Hollywood?
I got my Firefly.
Yeah?
I got what this guy thinks is Comic-Con
I'm
over
thinking,
here.
I mean, are you guys dressing up in something like a cape or something like that? That's my boy over there.
I'm gonna wear a fucking Rashiki thong for you, Brad.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'll probably wear that.
You gonna buy a shirt, Hollywood?
Yeah, I'm thinking I'll get a Roman Reigns. But you never know who's going to look cool. It could be Cody Rhodes might have some tight stuff.
Could be L.A. Knight. Yeah.
Are you guys going to the dinner before you guys go there? Is it tailgating for this type of stuff?
Well, I got to work so I'm going to be. Yeah, we got to even talk about that.
Yeah, we got to get a game plan together.
Yeah.
Big weekend.
But we're hoping that Roman Reigns grabs Mike out of the stands.
Yeah. You guys have good seats, though, right? You guys are going to be pretty close right there.
And then I can follow, and eventually we get a couple chairs and tables. And
become YouTube sensations.
Right.
You never know.
Might have to rush the ring, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Acknowledge my tribal chief. Yeah, I got a Roman Reigns shirt. That's my guy over there, B, with the C4.
That's him, man.
But I want to see what they got. I want to see what they have.
I definitely want to get a SummerSlam
Comic-Con
in Detroit.
Yeah, maybe I'll go that one. We could probably get that outside for $10. I got a SummerSlam shirt right here.
This ain't no Taylor Swift concert, man.
They're like, dude, come on, are you kidding me?
Yeah, I ain't dressing up like fucking Barbie or something.
What's going on over here?
But there will be some people. There'll be a guy there like Hogan, and there'll be... some slugs.
Get some pics, man. You're going to be close to some of these dudes, man. It'll be great.
Yeah, it's going to be a blast.
I can't wait to see the
winner. Why would Hulk Hogan be at this event? Just because he's
there's a guy that he goes there and he dresses up like they.
Oh, you mean people will come
dressed up like you were saying? Like, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. You don't want to be a macho man. You don't want to be Randy Macho Man.
No. I'll wear a T-shirt or something. That's about it. As far as I'm going.
All right. So if you had to dress as one wrestler going to this big event, what's SummerSlam? Right. This is what they call it.
Yep.
If you had to do a throwback wrestler, who would you want to be? If it was mandatory that you had to wear a costume of a
I could pull off a Macho Man, I think.
You think he'd be Macho
That's
Man?
who you want to be?
Can we get a little Macho Man?
How about Leap and Lanny Poffo?
Never heard of him.
Lane.
But probably do the Rock. I'd have to shave the beard, though.
Yeah.
Pull off the Rock.
Well, what would the Macho Man say, Philly?
Oh, yeah, snap into a Slim Jim. Yeah. Let me tell you something, Hogan. Ric Flair got nothing on the Macho Man. Love ya.
All right, Hollywood, if you had to go.
Jeez.
You got to dress. You got to do a throwback. You got to dress as
Samoa Joe right there. Joe.
Put some respect on my name.
I really don't know. Tell you the truth.
You don't have a
come on, maybe
favorite freaking like he met
Hollywood Hogan, man.
Hollywood Hogan. Would you go as Hollywood Hogan?
Yeah, I could do Hogan.
You would do a Hogan?
Yeah.
How would you do your Hogan? Give me a Hogan imitation.
So I can do this.
Let's do it. You want to do it now?
Oh yeah, he says. He goes. What was that guy's name in TNA? The guy that come in. Was it Tony Schiavone?
Tony Schiavone was WCW.
Was it? Yeah, WCW. That's who it was. Tony Schiavone. He's like, let me tell you something, Tony Schiavone. On the seventh day, God made Hollywood as I am the disciple for the new world order for life to sweet.
Yes. Very cool. I knew I'd pull it out of you, dude.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Oh, yeah. So that does it, boys.
Yeah.
Excellent show, episode 93. As always, remember to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, on Apple and Spotify. And with that being said, gentlemen, we'll see you next week. Love y'all. Be good.
Take care, everybody.